Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome to a brand new edition of Rave, Diaries and Tower Block Tales with yours truly, Uncle Doug's in the building. Before I go anywhere, I've got to apologise a little bit. I'm a bit bunged up at the moment. I haven't been well for the last week or so, I'm trying not to cough through these and I sound a bit bunged up, but that's not even important. I just wanted to apologise because I sound like at the moment. And also, before we go anywhere, I've got to thank everyone that's been locked into the videos that I've done so far on this channel and on, of course, the Run Come Follow Uncle Doug's channel. Amazing stuff, guys. We're getting more and more views and we're getting more and more feedback, more comments, more interaction on every video that we do. So thank you to you guys. And if you ain't subscribed already, never a better time than now. So, right, where are we today? So today we're going back to the year 2000, to be precise, Monday the 16th of October 2000, 7 p.m. That's pretty precise, isn't it? The Ericsson Music Awards Tour. Reprazent and MJ Cole live at the Sheperds Bush Empire. This is the ticket. Yeah, you can see that. That's the ticket. So, the reason I've chosen to talk about this today is, firstly, like, look, Roni Size and all the guys, anyone who knows what they've done in their careers obviously doesn't need an education, but just in case you only know Roni Size as like from this sort of point onwards, before this, Ronnie first come onto my radar in '93, Crust, Die, and the rest of the guys probably a little bit after that, maybe '94 early, but V Recordings was established, I think it was early to mid 1993, but the first tune that came onto my radar was what was it flipping called now? I think it was catalogue number 3, I think, V Recordings number 3. And it was called Fresh. I got there in the end. But the real big tune that put them on everyone's map, I would say, was It's a Jazz Thing, which I think was number 5 off the top of my V Recordings. So that was like through 94. Them guys really did establish themselves out of Bristol as a huge force to be reckoned with. Di, Roni, Suv, Crust, Dynamite on the mic, and a few other people that they had around them. They was a huge force coming through that sort of early V, Philly Blunt, Dope Dragon, Full Cycle, that whole camp. Big up Frost and Brian G. Obviously, they brought these guys to the bigger table so that we could all hear them. They kind of found them, I guess, in that early era. But yeah, as time went on, Roni was to establish Reprazent, which was to be like a live branch of what they were doing. The album New Forms was released in '97. Massive critical acclaim, won loads of massive awards. It was a worldwide hit and a success. But you know all that stuff already. What I want to talk about today is the first time I actually went to see them do this thing live. So Monday the 16th of October, year 2000, 7 o'clock, I went to Sheperds Bush Empire. A few of us went, I can't remember who was there, but it was about half a dozen of us, I think. And I went there not really knowing what to expect. You know, you've got to think this was a time before the internet. I mean, I remember little bits of them popping up on the telly, but back then if you didn't catch it, you know, when it was on, you didn't get the rerun, or you couldn't go to your Sky Plus or whatever and re-watch something or go to YouTube. If you missed it on the telly, you missed it. So I'd probably seen little bits and bobs of what they did, but I wasn't that clued up, to be fair, when I went now. And what I remember of this night, more than anything, was how it blew me away, seeing our music performed in a different way. Like, up to that point, I'd only ever seen DJs DJing, MCs MCing, and PAs PAing, but this was a completely different thing. This was a concert. So we got in there, MJ Cole was the warm-up, and I just remember him doing Sincere with like double bass and violins and like a proper band, but like that kind of band. It weren't like obviously it wasn't a mad drum and bass tune. Sincere is a beautiful song. It's a garage song, but it's a beautiful song. And the melodies and the strings and the vocals, and it was beautiful. It blew my mind. Like, Reprazent hadn't even come on yet. This is the warm-up. MJ Cole was their warm-up. Absolutely blew my mind. MJ Cole is a legend. He's super duper, you know, Champions League talented. And this was the first time that I got to really see something like that performed like that. You know, before Reprazent come on, that was my first slice of that, and it blew my mind. It really, really did. So the lights went down, there was some interval music, and then Reprazent come out, and again, much like MJ Cole, but probably even more, it blew me away. Hearing tunes that I love, that I know, that I've raved to, that I've mixed, some that I didn't even have on vinyl at the time, I guess, but hearing them performed in the way that they performed them, with that energy as well. Like, they won the award in '97, and by 2000, when I got to see them, they'd become a bit more of an act, you know, an on the road polished act. They'd been doing this thing for a little while by then. So yeah, the bit I remember most, I mean, obviously the whole gig was wicked. Honestly, it really, really was. Big up all of you Reprazent guys, man. Nothing but love for what you did back then. It really paved the way for everything that came after in that live aspect. But I just remember Dynamite, he had the old Janet Jackson mic, had his thing, and he owned the performance. Like, up to that point, I'd only really seen MCs MCing, and I know Dynamite as an MC before this. Obviously, he'd had tracks out with these guys by then, so there was tunes with Dynamite's lyrics on, but watching him control that performance, like, not as an MC, but as I guess a master of ceremonies and a vocalist and he did everything effortlessly. I mean, since then, he's gone on to be, you know, again, Champions League, like MJ Cole, Dynamite. He's a top of top. The times when I get to work with him, it is an absolute privilege, because he's a master of his craft. And that night there, that was the first time I saw Dynamite really for what he is, more so than just a guy going about on the mic. You know what I mean? He owned that. He owned that performance that night. But obviously, you got the other guys. There was Roni, Crust, Di, and Suv. And they did albums from New Form. They did songs from New Forms, and they did singles. But the bit that blew my mind, because I'm an old school junglist, so by 2000 I'm into garage, you know what I mean? I wasn't into the whole drum and bass thing at that time. So towards the end, it might have even been at the end, they did a medley of all their hits. Like, they went through the Dope Dragons, they went through the Flip, they played Trust Me, they played, listen, all the ones that I love, they played in, like, I think it must have been probably either 8 or 16 bar switches. So they play a section, switch, boom, into the other one. Dynamite was weaving in and out with the lyrics on the Janet Jackson mic and all that. And like, the vibes in the place, like MJ Cole was on, the vibes were there. Reprazent come on, the vibes went up to there. When they did that bit there, it blew the roof off, mate. And it made me so happy, because I'd been having a great time up until then anyway. But when they did that bit there, and it was all the rhythms that I know and love, mind blowing, man. Absolutely mind blowing. The price, I'm just looking at this now, £15, £2.30 booking fee, so £17.30. That now would cost you a little bit more than that, definitely, especially if it was Sheperds Bush Empire and a sellout, which this was. So yeah, that was the 16th of October 2000 on a Monday night. I was doing that at the Ericsson Music Awards tour, and it's something I'll remember forever. So I don't know if you guys will ever watch this, but if any of you Reprazent lads like MJ Cole watching this, thank you for that night there, because it was a game changer, mate. I'd never seen our music performed in the way that I saw it that night. And now, you know, you've got all kind of different bands. I mean, my current favourite I'm going to mention is Dr. Mika. When I watched Dr. Mika live, that comes from this, do you know what I mean? And all the other bands that are around doing the drum and bass thing, even your Rudimentals and all of them, it all stems from this. This was more than a PA, which was all we'd got up until this point. All these orchestras, all these things you see now in our music, it comes from these guys here. So big up the Reprazent lads, big up MJ Cole, of course, as well. And big up anyone that was there, that saw these tours when they were sort of like first doing this thing live. I guess I was probably late, I'm assuming. This is 2000, so I'm assuming it wasn't their first wave of tours, but yeah, it was the first time I'd seen anything like that, and it blew my little Swede off my shoulders, it really did. So yeah, right, that's that, guys, for today. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed that one. I'm doing a load of episodes now, I'm recording a load of stuff today, so we've got a big bag of different stuff there, as you can see, ready to come off the back of today's story. So thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to tell all your pals that this is what we're doing. Sometimes it's about old school, sometimes it's about jungle, sometimes we have a bit of garage, a bit of grind, a bit of dubstep. It's right across every strand of my musical life. I'm pulling out little bits and pieces from the past, and I'm talking to you about them, and then underneath in the comments I'm finding out that loads of you lot were either there, or I've got very similar stories, and then you start talking to each other. It's wicked, honestly, I love it. So thank you all. Rave Diaries and Tower Block Tales. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Peace and love to you all. Yeah, right.